people who have access to the internet and who are currently using it to watch this video, my name is Pun Food, or just Pun if you prefer, and last time on You Eat Soup, we 100%ed Rock Candy Mines. And this time, we are headed up to Meringue Clouds. Yeah, and we're gonna finally confront Kamek in that tower, and of course, there's our last Koopaling. I'm excited for this. Here's the shortcut back to this horrible level, in World 5. Actually, I don't know if I've shown off, I forgot to show off, the Rock Candy Mines shortcuts. So let me do that really quick. The shortcut back to Worlds 3, is a simple rainbow slide after climbing the beanstalk. I really like this shortcut. I think, it's definitely better than the World 1 to World 5 and World 2 to World 5 shortcuts. But probably the best shortcut between worlds in the entire game is World 4 to World 6. And it's literally just you ride on the bone-chilling spine coaster. It's just really cool. Anyway. Guess we're off to Meringue Clouds. So now we can actually head to Meringue Clouds 1. Land of Flying Blocks. This is a somewhat auto level. It's not an auto level or auto scroller. It's definitely not an auto level. It's kind of an auto scroller because you're stuck on these platforms, but it's not automatically scrolling. It's just like you have to keep up with the cloud platform. Anyway, it's a fun level. And I guess we should talk about, I need that. No. Well, that's probably the best outcome after missing some secrets. So, I guess let's talk about Cloud Worlds, Sky Worlds or whatever. I can say without a moment's hesitation, worst Sky World has to be, We Eat Soup's Sky World. I just personally think that, it goes for a lot, it has a lot of cloudy levels, like overcast looking levels, and not even like storm clouds, but just overcast, which normally I like some overcastedness, you know, but it's a majority of the world. It has a couple like foggy things too. Can I make it? I think I'm gaining a little bit of height, but I'm gonna have to take one. Come on. Yeah! Okay. So, yeah, We Eat Soup just isn't to my tastes, for cloud levels. And other than that, it doesn't present a whole lot of unique and cool ideas. Oh, God. Then I would say, New Soup, is probably, you know, number 3. It has a couple fun levels, but I also think a lot of them are just a little too generic for me. Like, I definitely think it has really good levels, but it also has not the best levels. Not the best levels Clouds have had to offer in the past. So then I would say that, New Soup 2 is my second favorite for this, for Cloud levels, mainly because it has the golden airship level, and a couple, like, mountaintop levels that I just find kind of cool, you know. Well, that sucks. I feel robbed. Anyway. And then I would say this game has my favorite Cloud and Sky levels. And it's mainly because the first half of levels are decent. This level is not one of my favorites, but the second half are really good. There's like this one sunset-looking, like, Cloud level that just steals the show for me. And that's the main reason why this is still... that You Eat Soup just takes it home. I think there's actually 2 sunset-looking Cloud levels. But You Eat Soup takes it home purely because of those levels, and then these levels are decent enough to keep it in contendership with, New Soup 2. Because otherwise, I think I like New Soup 2's castle more than, You Eat Soup's castle for the Cloud world. So I guess that wraps up my thoughts on Cloud Worlds, and that leaves You Eat Soup in the lead, followed by We Eat Soup, followed by a tie between New Soup and New Soup 2. And, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see if We Eat Soup gets overthrown by one of the other two. Anyway, now on to actual topics of discussion. I forgot to say it, but we're playing as Buck and Berry this episode. Because, I like Buck and Berry. And we played as Ala Gold last episode, so you know. Another Yoshi level. I forgot how many Yoshi levels there were, but this level isn't half bad. It's somewhat generic seesawing, you know, but it's also fun seesawing, so gotta count for something, right? And what's an extra life? It also has Lakitus. Or is it Lakitus? Lakitus? Lakitus, 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 Licatus? I don't know. But I think it's Lakitu. Personally. Anyways, let's grab our Yosh. Make it to the end. I don't know. That's probably why I don't remember this being Yoshi level. It's over way too quick. Like, no challenge at all for something this late in the game. Here's the thing. Skyward's main gimmick is usually that it has more pits and stuff than other worlds. But that's not as threatening, because pits are nowhere near as threatening as, like, lava or poison, or even ice that risks you being swooped off a cliff. Which is why I think Skyworlds should actually be, like, the first and or second world. You know? like, no later than 3rd, optimally. Because otherwise, you know, it's just too easy. Skyworlds to me always felt like Grass Worlds, but with more pits. That's just how they've always felt. Especially when they literally have levels with, like, grassy themes instead of, like, you walking on clouds or something. I don't... Oh my god. We get it. Okay. Just gonna wait for that, and then gonna bound over, and up here, secret pipe. Okay. So, I don't know. Another thing that I find, and I really like these platforms, and this is one of the levels that, like, made me think that this game beats, New Soup 2. Purely because of these platforms. I'm not saying this is, like, one of my favorite levels, or, like, a level that outright was like, oh, this world wins, but more so, just, the platforms are cool enough where I'm like, okay, you can stay, you know, anyway, but, let's just hop on this and soar over everything. But I just really like these platforms where they go one way when you're standing on them, and then if you jump off, they go back the other way. Anyway. So... that's course clear. And we are already at, the tower. Yeah. The one thing that I don't like about, You Eat Soup is that they put so, like, two, maybe 3 levels before any given tower, and then they put, like, a gazillion levels after. In Acorn Plains, it was 2 levels, technically 3 if you include the secret exit level. In Layer Cake Desert, it was 3 levels, but you could choose to play only 2 if you want. In Sparkling Waters, it was 2. In Frost Glacier, it was 2. In Soda Jungle, it was 3, but you could choose to play, but you didn't have to play all 3, you could play just 2, or you could skip the tower entirely due to secret exits. In Rock Candy Mines, it was 2, and in this world, it's 3, but you only have to play 2. So, I also find it concerning that I haven't encountered a star coin. I guess I just forgot where they were. But yeah, especially since there are Fire Bros in here, it just gives me real World 8 vibes. You know, especially since it's green and that's like Bowser colors, you know, and these sliding blocks and just all of it feels very like World 8 and not World 7. Especially when we get to the fire bar stuff. Like, I don't know. Oop, that was almost a bit disastrous. Anyway. I don't think I want to try to fly over the... that's not good. Okay. Let's take out the Fire Bro. Honestly, So yeah, I'm just not a fan of how they position the towers in these games, where they just make it like 2 levels before, and then Acorn Plains has like, you know, another 3 levels, again, one of which is optional before the castle. Layer Cake Desert has 3 levels, one of which being optional, and a secret level before the castle. And then oh, I gotta be really careful here. Okay. Really precarious. Okay. Ugh. So... Eep. Eep, 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 eep. Eep. Oh, God. Well, I made it. Anyway, but then, Soda Jungle, I think, is possibly the worst offender along with Rock Candy Mines and maybe this world. Like, I don't know, I think Sparkling Waters and Frosted Glacier are only it's so bad because they add a ghost house to the mix after the tower. But then Soda Jungle, it has a ghost house, and then 2 more levels, and then another 2 levels, and then the castle. And Rock Candy Mines doesn't have a ghost house, but it has 2 more levels, and then another 2, and then another singular level, and it has another tower. And then, dang it. Okay. And then, this world has the ghost house, and then 3 more levels. So it's not too bad. It's like, you know, Sparkling Water, Frosted Glacier, then the castle, of course. But Soda Jungle, has a total of 7 levels, plus a ghost house and a tower. And Rock Candy Mines has 7 levels and 2 towers. But Soda Jungle also has the airship technically included, and the extra Flight of the Parabeetles included. So, I think it comes out to being more than Rock Candy Mines. But still, I don't know why they just pumped up the amount of, you know, levels for those 2 worlds instead of, like, this world. And I don't know why they continue to have the tower only, like, 2 or 3 levels in, even though there's, like, so many more than that in a world. I think a tower is best when it is actually a halfway point and not, you know, a 3-level in point. Anyway, this is probably one of the better... I think this, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Sunken Shipwreck. And World 4's Ghost House is pretty good. World 5, I think, needs work. So I think this Ghost House might be the best one by default. Just because I like its concept of you go through a bunch of doors and you end up back in this central room, but something's changed each time because that staircase wasn't there before. Anyway, so that spring is probably progress, so I believe this is a star coin. Yeah. I believe it's clear which one is... Yeah. we're gonna have him take out those blocks. And then we're going to just take him out. And that's Star Coin 1. So come out of that door. Then we actually go and take the route that gives us progress. We can't go that way because wall. Over that way is wall. Okay. So, I don't think there's a star coin in here. But there are coins. And I believe all of the blocks in here are just the fake kind. I don't know. This is the last ghost house in the game. I think it's a pretty good one to be the last. It's still not open. This is probably Star Coin 2. If I had to guess, yeah, this feels Star Coin 2. So I need to, it's rough. Well, I want to potentially get this, whatever it is, and it's a fire flower. Yeah, I don't know. Where do we end up? Just coming out the same door. Okay. So we can go through that way. Is this the normal exit then? Is that what this is? Or is it another star coin? I think this is the normal exit. I don't know. I guess I think you know what I should probably do? I should probably also rank the ghost house design for every New Soup game, and immediately New Soup 2 has the best ghost house design, probably followed by You Eat Soup, and then New Soup, and then We Eat Soup. I really did not like We Eat Soup's ghost houses. They just didn't feel fun. Like, New Soup 2 feels fun, I think, especially in the Behemoth Go houses. You Eat Soup feels fun in a couple of them. And New Soup feels fun in, you know, in basically all of them. But they can also, I think, are the most confusing in that game, in my opinion. Like, the least obvious where you need to go for stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, is this a power-up? Yeah. So let's go in here. I don't know. Anything else? We finished every tower level, so I guess we could rank the tower levels. The individual ghost house and tower level rankings aren't gonna affect my, what game has the best worlds rankings. But in terms of tower levels, I think You Eat Soup wins. Just outright. And I think, and then I think it's We Eat Soup. And then probably New Soup. And then New Soup 2. I think New Soup 2's tower levels are just a little too generic, maybe. But I don't know. Yeah. I think New Soup does have Oh no. Oh, okay, it's fine. Thought I missed out. Oh, it was just entering. Okay. Anyway, yeah, yeah, New Soup actually does have really good tower levels. It's not to say New Soup 2 has bad tower levels, I just think they're the most uninspired of the New Soup series. They just never feel like they have enough originality in them, with the exception of maybe 3 Tower, because it's underwater. Otherwise, they feel like things we've seen before in Towers without any real new twists. Anyway, the ghost house unlocks a path straight to the castle, but for now, we are going to be trying to get to one of these other levels. I kind of like this whole, it's not Frogger, it's like the follow the path thing. Like, it's that one mini game from Super Mario 64 DS. You probably know the one. But I don't like how it determines, like, what level you go to, and if you just pick randomly, you might not end up at a good level. I don't know. Anyway, Bouncy Cloud Boomerangs. This is one of the levels that made me like, think, ah yes, You Eat Soup has the best sky levels. Mostly because it's like at sunset, and it makes the sky world, and even though there's grass, we also actually use like cloud platforms, and it makes the sky world feel like it deserves to be its own sky world, you know. Not to say it deserves to be late in the game, but it makes it feel distinct from just another grass world with more pits, you know? Is there stuff down those pipes that I want to get? I forget. No. Okay, then. Even though there's a pipe here. There's no way that's just for decoration, right? Oh, you know what it is? I believe there's a hidden vine. Yep. That's what it was. I love it when they leave exit pipes visible like that to tell you, hey, there's probably, you know, a hidden secret. That's just good level design. So... Oh no. Okay, got it. We don't really need all the coins, because they have max lives with, the toads. Anyway, we're due for a checkpoint, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe the level designers didn't think we were due for a checkpoint yet, and that's why there isn't a checkpoint yet. I mean, that would be my guess. That makes the most sense. Anyway, there's the checkpoint. There's an ice flower. Suspicious. Oh, it's probably just a coin cannon. Okay. Got the star coin. Now we don't want to get hit because we only have one hit left, and we have all the star coins, and even though we won't be set back too far, it would still suck to have to redo some of this stuff. I'm just ignoring obstacles as best as possible. I only care about reaching the end. Okay. But I will actually say that this is one of the first times where we see that, that beating Meringue Clouds 4 unlocks Meringue Clouds 6, but Meringue Clouds 6 was already unlocked from beating the Ghost House, but it's because of this, you know, Rainbow Bridge, pick a path and hope you're right type stuff that happens. It's an interesting idea, just not a fan of it. I think I want to do this one. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to fight a Fuzzy. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. I don't know why I've been saying that's the way the cookie crumbles recently. Like, I get it's a common saying, but it's never been one that I've used in particular. Please drop the star. Thank you. Right. Gotcha. And I don't need that. Okay. But, yeah. So, let's keep on going. A quick dip in the sky. This is a really, I think they did something similar. Actually, I know they did something similar to this in We Eat Soup, but even still, really cool concept. And I would rather see them repeat a cool concept, than go for something that's just falls flat. It's like, if they have more ideas for levels like this, then they should use them, you know? They shouldn't feel like, oh, we already did this in another game. Now, granted, when you do it the same thing, like, 4 times in a row, yeah, maybe not. Though I will say that, each of the levels in the New Soup games is distinct, and at least, New Soup's graphical style is distinct from, other games. I don't know why people say Koopalings are lazy boss designs. Maybe it's because, they're not brand new characters, but I think their boss fights are usually somewhat creative. Actually, Wendy repeats, like, the same boss fight, and so does Larry. Lemmy shakes it up a bit, being different ways to use, but it's still kind of similar between all of them, except in, You Eat Soup, and I kind of see what they mean. But I will say, Ludwig, Roy, Morton, and Morton definitely have unique and interesting boss fights in every game, and I would say, you know, Iggy and Wendy at least changed it up in You Eat Soup. I think the main problem with the Koopalings is that they just aren't given enough time to get out of their shell and actually attack you. It's just too easy to, you know, to just jump on them as soon as they emerge, you know. I feel like they need to have a safety space and actually be able to pull off an attack for them to... And that's why people say they aren't interesting. Because basically, after the first hit, it does boil down to just stomp on them. You know, dodge their shell, stomp on them. But I think I really like the Koopalings, personally, as bosses. I'm a big fan of the idea of, like, having, you know, set, you know, like, antagonists, you know, like with the Koopalings, and just having them appear, like, this time I'll beat you, Mario. I have new tricks up my sleeve, you know? Like, I'm a big fan of that for the Koopalings. I think the problem is that they oftentimes don't really have new tricks, and that's why people get upset. Even though they change it up a little, it's not enough for people. You know, they'd rather have brand new ideas, but I don't know, I think Mario is always about simple, fun platforming, so to have simple boss fights, it makes sense, you know? I don't think they're ever gonna abandon the 3-hit rule, and if they do, it would be a multiple of 3 would be my guess. Though, I mean, it might be cool if bosses have a health bar, but the problem is since jumping and fireballs are really your only methods of dealing damage, there's no way to really do a good health bar in a Mario game for, like, that kind of thing. Like, because it always has to boil down to, you know, how many jumps, because that's going to be your main form of attack, so would a health bar even matter? But they could make it vary from boss to boss how many hits it takes, you know. That is something they could do. There's the last star coin. Oh. Well, I still got it. I thought I missed it because I didn't have the squirrel suit, but I managed to use a shell to get it. Anyway. I don't know. I think the thing is by World 7, I've kind of run out of ideas that that I can talk about, that I'm ready to talk about before reaching a certain point in the game. Because I know that I definitely have more to talk about, but I'm waiting for specific times. So, World 7, I feel like it's just this dead zone of me being like, this level design is cool, and Koopalings are okay, you know. Anyway, luckily, we are at the castle. Meringue Clouds Castle, Ludwig's Clockwork Castle. So, this is, I don't know. We haven't quite seen every castle level, but we've seen all the Koopaling castle levels. So, and spoiler, the final castle to me doesn't really feel like a castle level in the same sense that these other castles do. What I really like about this castle is it really leans in. I would say World 5 and World 6 kind of went for generic, you know, lava-based castle compared to the other worlds, which were, I don't know, at least Worlds 3... Dang it. Screw it. I'd rather just restart, you know, than come back into the castle for a last star coin. Because I was stupid there. Anyway. Guess let's talk about the castles. World 1's castle wasn't particularly themed, but then again, World 1 isn't ever really particularly themed itself, so it's acceptable. Gets a pass. World 2's castle was somewhat lava-y, but it's a desert, and it still had, like, desert-looking blocks, I think, so, you know, at least from what I remember, so I think it also gets a pass. Might just pre-apply a squirrel suit. World 3, however, went for a full-on, you know, half above water, half underwater castle, you know. World 4 went for a full-on, not ice castle, but at least it went for an icy background and cool colors, and it was swamp-based, you know. World 5 just had lava waves. They could have seriously just gone. Oh my god, today is not my day. They could have really just gone for straight up, you know, poison waves. It would have fit. It's the jungle. And just make it a bit more green. World 6 in the mountain, I'm willing to give a pass if it wasn't for the fact that World 5 also used a lava theme. But World 6 does, you know, there is sometimes, you know, magma, you know, under mountains and stuff. And it's a mining quarry, so having the giant steel, you know... Would they be crates, or would they just be boxes? I'll call them crates. Having those giant steel crates, added to the idea that it's some kind of mining world. You know, it's a mine level. And then this castle goes for, you know, clockwork, but more so it's about gears and stuff. But clockwork and gears are kind of synonymous at this point. So there's the star coin. Alright, and now it's checkpoint time. Nothing's worse than dying right before the checkpoint. Anyway. It's like the second appearance of amps in the game. They really don't appear that often. The Sledge Brothers are actually somewhat very deadly in this level because of their slam, which can stun you and leave you vulnerable to getting crushed. I will say that this level is a good amount of difficulty purely because it uses crushing, which is, in most cases, instant death. You know. So, gives it that added bit of danger, you know, as opposed to lava is also instant death, but I don't know. And it's actually sky-themed, which I like. Oh, this isn't even a star coin. It's just extra coins, which don't really have much value to me, because, I don't need the extra lives. Funny that. Anyway. This is the final stretch, and I don't want you disrupting me. Best way to get out of that is always the wall jump. Anyway, I'll take Ice Flower. Alright! So, here we have Ludwig von Koopa. My fourth favorite and fourth least favorite Koopaling. Right smack dab in the middle. I mentioned that Lemmy is playful, Iggy is, you know, crazy, insane, you know, Roy is cool, Wendy's kind of bossy, and the girl. Larry's generic, and Morton is dumb. Well, Ludwig is the smart / bratty one. And in this fight, you have to discern which one's the real one. But in the first phase, that's easy because the clones will automatically disappear when they touch the ground. But also you can tell because Ludwig himself will shoot 3 fireballs while his clones will only shoot 2. Ludwig, I think, is the second most difficult boss fight. In the second phase, the clones will also jump around. But Ludwig is the second most difficult boss fight purely because he jumps up into the air so fast after getting out of his shell. And he jumps at an awkward angle where you're likely to get hit. But throughout the series, Ludwig has always had the ability to shoot more than 1 fireball. And he also tends to have the ability to kind of flutter jump or fly. But yeah, it doesn't stop his boss fight from still being kind of easy. I still think Iggy is a bit more difficult just because he's all over the place. But I think this is one of his better boss fights in this Ludwig. I think that's one of his better boss fights in the series. And he's almost always the boss of the 7th world. As well. But yeah, just beat up Ludwig von Koopa. So guess we're gonna be heading over into that ominous cloud right now. Or not. Soda Jungle had an airship level before the world, but in Meringue Clouds, the airship is the last level of the world, stopping you from entering the dark, ominous clouds surrounding Peach's castle. It's time to board the airship. As far as airship level goes, in the New Soup series, New Soup didn't actually have any. New Soup 2 only had like the one sort of fake airship level where you ride the golden coin ship. But in We Eat Soup, the airship level was were at the end of 4, 6, and 8, and they were alright. I think the one at the end of World 4 was The one at the end of World 6 was pretty okay, and the one at the end of World 8 was really good. Or not really good, but good. In this game, I'd say the one before World 5 is honestly not the best airship in the series, and this one is really good. The idea of fighting the giant hand as it destroys terrain and tries to crush you, it's pretty good. Along with the fact that, you know, in a moment we will actually be boarding the airship, as the name of the level implies. It's also one of the longer levels in the game, just because it's an auto stroller mostly. But now, yeah, we're actually gonna be boarding the airship. And like, when I think airship level, I think of this level. It's just a really good airship level. I think it's like the best airship level that we've seen ever in Mario history. That might be a hot take, or it might not. People might agree that the, giant hand trying to crush you makes it a really good airship level. I definitely think it beats out the Super Mario 3D Land airship levels. Those always felt a bit awkward. I definitely think it beats out the We Eat Soup airship levels. And I think it probably beats out the Super Mario Bros. 3 airship levels. Just the one thing I will say is that this platform being tilt control adds to the experience, but the problem is just tilt controls, and people don't often like tilt controls. So we're just going up slowly because it's an auto scroller. Anyway, green coins. I don't really need them. I have plenty of lives. Now we can jump up here and grab this last star coin. Be mindful of the Rocky Wrench. I think this is their only appearance in the game. You Eat Soup definitely has a lot of enemies that appear the one time in one specific level. And it's not even like, I don't even think it's like just, but I think that might be a thing where there are a couple of levels where there's only like that an enemy appears in, and it's only that level throughout the entire New Soup series or the entire Mario series. Even so, here's Bowser Jr. This is probably one of his better fights in all of his fights. His clown car has boxing gloves, and it'll try to punch away at the ground you stand on. Luckily, the ground regenerates, and Bowser Jr. himself will throw down bob-ombs at you. He'll also use his arm and stick it in the ground, and you can use it to climb up and attack him. It's a really creative fight. I definitely think, there is something to be said about bumper cars in We Eat Soup, and something to be said about knocking the giant spiked bomb up into him in We Eat Soup. But I think that this fight is my personal favorite, because the other ones feel gimmicky. This one just feels like a cool platforming challenge. And I like that this fight ends with him being like, I'm gonna finally defeat you and crush you with the giant hand, and we're just like, we can run away. And he ends up destroying his dad's airship. So there's that. I just think it's a little silly and really cool. And instead of just exploding off screen, we actually see the airship come over and crash over there. I kind of wish we got to see the Koopalings airships all defunct, as well, but even though it's just Bowser's airship, I still think it's a cool detail. Anyway, Bowser Jr. is gonna escape into the cloud. So, I guess we'll go into the cloud for real next time! But for now, my name has been, and will be tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, and it always will be, Pun Food. I find it so weird that they decided to, after the Cloud World, they would go into another Cloud World. I mean, what's up with that? Come on, guys. Think of something original, and even in a new Soup game. Come on.